Hi everyone, Gray Power 60 here. Okay, so you remember I got these, I've been watching videos, these wooden puzzle pieces, and last night what I decided to try is to take a piece of DSP, Mod Podge it on, and I let it dry overnight, which I should have perhaps cut it while it was wet. But that's okay, because you know, as crafters, we come up with something. I had to break these apart. Some of the pieces are broken. It didn't work out well, but then I got an idea. If it's going to be broken pieces of puzzle, instead of having them perfect, what I've done is I've taken an emery board and I have, like here, I have gone, and if the paper rips up, I just let it rip in whatever direction it's going to go. I've gone around the whole thing. I could glue those little bits down. Anyway, so what I did is like this one. I've gone all the way around it, kind of roughed it up, because you know, if they are antique pieces that you're putting on something that is vintage, they should be broken in some ways, right? So that's what I did with this, and that's what I did with this one. And then I took my Distress Oxide, this is the Vintage Photo one, and of course my sponge, and I've gone all around it with the sponge as well as the back, because you know that when pieces get old, it's not just the front that gets broken, and there's a little bit that's kind of coming apart here. I'm leaving it because that's all part of the aging of puzzle pieces. Oh my god, I went blank there for a minute. So now I'm doing the same with this one, and I'll be able to use these as a, you know, a three-dimensional item to put on some of my crafts that I do. So I try to go into every area. The paper rips, that's okay, because that's, like I say, that's all part of the vintage what do you call it? Aging. So I have to go all around the sides, make sure there's nothing too obvious. And some of the white that's in there. And there we have it. So now I have two pieces that are vintage looking puzzle pieces. Now, if I had done this again, I think what I would do is, if I'm going to put DSP on here and glue it on while it's wet, I think I would cut it out, because or just break them apart and put it on individually and then age it. So lesson learned. I tried it, and that's what I came up with. So I'm going to be doing that for the rest of my morning. Mom and I have to go out later. So that's one thing I did. I tried to make a tiny rosette. Didn't work. I just used some white scrap paper because I wanted to see how it was going to work. Definitely, Deborah, I am not good at the tiny ones, but I wanted to try it. I think I need a little more patience. And now I want to show you a card that I was making. Oh gosh. This is called a domed card. And let me see if I can find our sweet, oh, let's go here. I just want to make sure I give I gave credit where credit is due, and I did watch an awful lot of videos. Here we are. It was, oh yes, Mixed Up Craft. Sam Calcott from the UK, Mixed Up Craft. I was following hers to a certain degree. She was making a 6x6. Mine is 5 by 5.5, if I'm not mistaken. But this, I started off with a black card. I put a piece of white cardstock inside for writing on. And then I made this, I hope you can see it properly there. So what I've done, and I wish I had moved it over more to show this, there's a little spoon in there. So you can see, and I've used raised adhesive, I forget what we call it, to raise it up a little bit. I've also cut them out. I cut out 3, so I cut out, because the paper was thin, I cut out 2 of each of the light green and glued those together, and then I got some green cardstock like this to make kind of a shadowy back. And then see the inside of that cup. I hope you can see the inside of that cup. With those swirls, I broke them apart and put them up to make it look like it was hot tea. I hope you can see that. Then I cut out the circle, and I also used an outside circle, nestled them together so that I could get this frame. This is acetate. It's the same size. I think it's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4 to fit in here nicely. And when you open it, it actually stands up quite nicely. And there's the top of it, so you can see. And then I was going to put the sentiment down here, and then for some reason I tacked it and then couldn't get it off, so I said, oh well, we'll just leave it up there. But it probably would have looked nicer down here. I don't know. And then I just cut some green strips here to sort of give it a little finish, because it was like too white. In the background of my card here, I used that embossed paper that I bought. So when you look at it from certain angles, you can see the roses in there, and it kind of matches the kind of old-fashioned teacup. Like I say, the only thing is I wish I had put that spoon either on this side so you could see it, or just shifted the cup a little bit and put the spoon, because I don't think you can see the spoon very well when you look at it. You can see it when you're looking at it like this, but from straight on. Anyway, I was pretty proud of actually taking her directions. I shifted it down so that this is a 5, yeah, it's a 5 by 5 card. So it would be 5 by 10 would have been my original black background. This would have been, instead of 5 by 5, I brought it down to 4 3/4 so that it would give me a nice edge. And I did the same. This one actually is 5.5, so that when you dome it, you want to have a 1/2 inch on each side. But I would suggest you go and check. I'll give her a link below, and check out Sam's instructions on how to do it. She's pretty resourceful. I love her channel. Many of you have commented that you love her channel too, so I'm pleased about that. So that is the crafting I have been up to, is making this, and I really like this dome idea. You could do so many things. You could make things that are in here, you could even make them larger, put in puffier things, or more of a 3-dimensional or a 3D thing. So anyway, I hope you like my card. I was pleased about doing it for the first time and not making too many mistakes. And I'm kind of pleased with it. And she was saying she has a video, and I'm going to check it out, a video on how to make a boxed envelope to fit this into, so that it doesn't get ruined unless you want to give it to them like this. But it's always nice to have them in a packaging of some kind. So this is Vlogust 14, I believe. I'm kind of off with my numbers sometimes. This is what I am up to. I'm making some old-fashioned, I'm trying to fix my horrible mistake here on how I did that, and creating some vintage looking pieces of puzzles so that I could have those in my stash. And that is it for today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you liked my dome. I hope you liked my recovery from a disastrous idea of letting the Mod Podge harden, whereas I should have cut it. Even if it ripped, it still would have been able to, you know, do the vintage thing anyway, and maybe with not quite so much damage. But then old things get damaged, so I think it'll work out well. This particular, it was too bad, this particular paper, these little white, supposed to be snow, actually are dimensional. You can actually feel them on the paper, but once you put the Mod Podge on, oh, you can still feel them. Oh yeah, okay. I thought maybe, because I couldn't feel them now, well, you can still feel them a little bit once I shaved them down. But there's supposed to be a little snow on there. Okay, so that's it for me for Vlogust day 14. Thank you for joining me. I would appreciate any comments you have about my recovery on my pieces here, and maybe what you would have done differently. It would be nice to know. And I'm enjoying this. I can't believe I'm on Vlogust day 14, and I still have a few ideas for the next few days. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. If you're new to my channel, please don't be shy. Subscribe to our YouTube family, and help support my channel by liking and share. Leave me a comment and hit that bell to make sure that you're notified when I upload my next video. Anyway, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.